to get started to see which one can be the most retarded. Tinfoil haters, it's time to start the show. Tinfoil haters, it's time to start the show. Tinfoil haters, don't tell them what to say. Tinfoil haters are here to save the day. And Sammy are about to get started to see which one can be the most retarded. Tinfoil haters, it's time to start the show. Tinfoil haters, it's time to start the show.
All right, welcome back to another episode of Tinfoil Haters. How are all you vital idols doing? And yes, sorry for the delay, guys. There was a there's an issue with the guest. He hasn't shown up. He and I were emailing back and forth all day and up until literally about 40 minutes before the show. And now MIA, which, considering what we're talking about today, is very strange, and he's been in the chat before multiple times, so I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt, see and say if something happened. If he shows up, he shows up, but otherwise, thankfully, did a bunch of prep research on this myself, but not near enough to be an expert, so we're going to all go through this together. Before we get into any of that, my lovely co-host, Sammy 3P here.
Absolutely, he's gorgeous.
You on bottom? Hold on a sec. You are my co-host. There we go. My lovely co-host, Sammy 3P. Tell people who you are and what you do.
Sorry, I'm late. I was masturbating. No, I'm Sammy 3P. I'm glad that you did more research today, because I was expecting to just go down the rabbit hole and go for a ride. But yeah, I have a channel. If you guys want to go to that and check it out, that would be great.
Yes. Well, there is a rabbit hole. In fact, this is a very strange story. Before we get into that, we also have to introduce our new, looks like probably semi-permanent member of the show, Cinevere. So tell the people who you are and what you do.
Well, hi, guys. I cover anime and gaming, and I'd like to do horror stuff, and this stuff kind of falls in it. So I'm excited to be here.
That's what I like to hear. Well, let's go through and say hey to all y'all beautiful bastards out there, and then we'll just get into it. Again, sorry the show is a bit unstructured today. Things got changed last minute. Saku Kocho is here. How you doing, Saku Kocho? First one, thank you so much. Dax, not the best mod on the whole damn land. How you doing? Philip Morgan in the house. Cinevere's Fish is here. Thank you so much, Cindy's Fish. Krovac showing up and showing out. You'd love to see it. Leonardo de Gostal, how you doing, brother? Thank you so much for showing up. Who else we got? Of course, we got Mrs. 3 in the chat. You'll love to see it. Thank you so much for showing up, Mrs. 3. The support of your husband is such a beautiful thing. Jake Martin, what's good, Inca dudes? Inky dudes. That's Gilgamesh's best friend and potentially lover, if you believe in that modern audience bullshit. Let's see. Well, Enkidu, or however you pronounce it. But yes, I like the pun. I like to play on words there. Let's see. You guys remember Final Fantasy 2? You got to fight Gilgamesh a few times. He drops Genji armor. Nice. Let's see who else we got. I know there are more folk in here. Of course, Crap Eater's here. How you doing, Crap Eater? Little Miss Anonymous saying, "Yowdy, y'all. How you doing, LMA?" Let's see. Oh, Chief Danny. I don't know if you had to change your name or this is your first time here, but if it is your first time, well then welcome to the party, pal. JR, how you doing, JR? Thank you so much for showing up. CFH90, Cowboys from Hell, Pantera Rise Up. Paul Byersmith in the chat. How you doing, Paul? Truly appreciate you. Of course, because you're a stalker, can't do a show with Cinevere, without Cinevere, Stalker. Working and lurking, love these topics. Wish I could join more. Man, it's always great having you here. I do truly appreciate it. Thank you so much. And yes, we can have a great conversation about this sort of stuff. Mr. Monkey, government got him. I mean, dude, sometimes I wonder with me and Sammy going out of town next week, covering stuff like this makes me a little nervous. Yarnwich is here. How you doing, Yarny? Thank you so much for showing up, you beautiful bitch. Paul Pierce is based. You goddamn right, it's based. Let's see. Molly Coddled. Molly Coddled. Did you end up watching that anime that you were so keen to watch that I talked about yesterday? If so, let me know. You probably like it a lot more than me. It's 8:15 p.m. already. Yeah, it's today's sort of really ran by. Vex. Tin Man 8. How you doing, Tin Man? Appreciate you showing up. We are almost through here. I think that might be everybody. And yeah, I'd say it is. So let's get into it. Cindy, we'll start with you. What do you know about Gilgamesh? What just cursory knowledge? Anything? Is this new to you?
Not a thing, except that he was like a summons in Final Fantasy.
Okay, gotcha. Sammy, what about you? What's your knowledge about Gilgamesh?
I know he's like a Mesopotamian myth. He was like just a heroic character. I've never read the story or the epic. I'm not that familiar with it, but I just know that it's culturally significant just because of the age of the tale.
Well, to be fair, the jury is out on whether he was a myth or a real person. Now, obviously, a lot of the feats and whatnot that he accomplished are deified, but most scholars, most scientists actually do agree that the King of Uruk, Gilgamesh, was real. But after his death is when he was deified and started writing all the epics and turning him into basically the proto Hercules prior. It's very much a Jesus situation. Almost all historians agree Jesus did exist. Now, did he walk on water? Was he the son of God? Stuff like that. That's what you can't prove. Now, obviously, Christians like myself believe it. But basically, exact same thing. Most historians agree he was real. There is text about him prior to all the epics and myths. Other kings had referenced him in their writings, and they didn't embellish him or whatnot. It's just like, oh yeah, dude existed. So Gilgamesh was more than likely real. Existing somewhere between 1800 and 1500 BC. Damn. And likely equally as large. And so it's clearly hard to get a concrete date on that because of the age of it. But we have found basically enough text to justify it to scientists and archaeologists. But, of course, after his death, he gets deified and the Epic of Gilgamesh was rediscovered because everyone knew it existed, but it had been lost. The stone tablets had been lost. No one knew where they were, but there was enough historical text and writing from other scholars, like those in ancient Greece, that acknowledged them, that said they had read them. So they're like, okay, we know these at least existed at one point. Then they were discovered in Iraq. I believe it was Iraq, but I could be wrong. In the mid 1800s, 1843, if I recall. They find the stone tablets and that are the Epic of Gilgamesh. And lo and behold, this causes some controversy because the archaeologist that was looking for these tablets was actually looking for the original Hebrew Bible because it was supposed to be the oldest writings of man. Now, this is going, again, 1843. They don't have a whole lot of historical knowledge yet. Well, then it turns out he finds this shit, and it's way older than the Hebrew Bible. And it turns out after they spent 30 years translating it by the 1870s, both the Bible and the Odyssey and the Iliad kind of stole a lot of shit from the story, the Epic of Gilgamesh, the Great Flood, the hero's journey. Like, it's kind of remarkable. And in the early 1900s, lectures about how the Hebrew Bible is almost a carbon copy in certain sections of the Tale of Gilgamesh started getting a lot of the pro-Christian movement up in a frenzy because, as you know, America was very, very different in terms of religious beliefs and tolerances in 1901 than in 2025. Yo, Hypno, how you doing, you beautiful bastard? Thank you so much for showing up. And so now, over the years and the years, Gilgamesh has become, yes, the Great Flood is what you call Henry Cavill's core audience. I thank you so much.
Based, yes.
And
Thanks.
throughout the years, ever since the discovery of the stone tablets, Gilgamesh has just become more and more culturally relevant in pop culture. But there's actually no concrete evidence of his tomb even existing because, again, while scientists are pretty sure, and archaeologists are pretty sure he was real, beyond other writings and whatnot, we don't even know if he had a tomb except for what we see in the writings. So yes, the original topic was supposed to be Gilgamesh's tomb actually was discovered. It was discovered in Iraq in 2001, I believe, or maybe 2000. Basically,
2003.
2003, literal days before the American invasion of Iraq. Now, for this to be true, or for us to go on this tangent, we'll have to accept, first of all, whether the tomb is real. So for these purposes, do you guys believe in Gilgamesh and or Gilgamesh's tomb existing?
I feel it's possible. Like,
Yeah, I
that's a
believe
lot
it.
of information for it not to exist, isn't it?
Or did exist at one point, and of course, weathering, things get lost to time, things to that effect. I mean, there is a discrepancy in the location of the writings versus where it was supposedly found, because in the writings, it is said that the supporters of Gilgamesh actually spent time diverting the Euphrates River to construct his tomb under the river.
That's wild. That's so cool.
Yeah, I don't know if I believe that.
Yeah,
I don't know. People were crazy.
Yeah, but I mean, 2,000 years before Christ, like
They could build a pyramid. I
They
mean,
didn't
maybe. Did they?
well,
build the
I'm just
pyramids?
saying. No. I don't know when they built the pyramids, but what I'm saying is that crazier things have happened. They were capable of building a pyramid, so
yeah, but
I
that
don't
would be
believe
like
it's
1,000 years before the pyramids, right?
Yeah, but I'm saying it's well. How much have we lost? Do you think to time?
Oh, okay. Yeah, if you want to go with that, I do.
Paul
believe
Byersman does make a point. Slavery got shit done.
It did.
You'd be
Bring back
surprised what you can
slavery.
get out of a
It
fellow
doesn't
when you
have to
whip
be
the
black
shit out of
people.
him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm an advocate for bringing back slavery. It doesn't just have to be a race thing. It doesn't have to be blacks. But like, bring back the slavery. We got some fucking work to
A
do.
simple IQ test is all.
85 and under, you don't get to get paid. You will just get to
Sorry.
exist and work for us.
Yeah.
You know, actual non-mouth breathers. So yes, slavery, the dash of aliens, maybe. It still exists in Dubai. So the working theory is that it was found in Iraq, which is a bit different than underneath the Euphrates River, and it was covered up for whatever reason by the Clinton Foundation. Now, so that's the first thing we're going to go over is the Clinton aspect, and from here it's going to be not just the Clintons, but like a large government body sort of thing. So yeah, I will show you from. This is from the Clinton Digital Library. Do you guys know what the Clinton Digital Library is?
No,
No.
I didn't even know
I
they
believe
had one.
Yeah, I believe it's a scam. Basically, yeah, tricky Bill. This is an online digital library where we can read through the just recordings and documentations of Bill Clinton, his time in office, the whole nine. Obviously, this is maintained and whatnot by the Clintons. This is a very pro Bill Clinton website, so propaganda for sure, at least in my opinion. However, it does mention Gilgamesh. I mean, this is publicly available on the Clinton Digital Library, and when doing a Freedom of Information request search for Gilgamesh, it talks about how. Let's see, where'd it go? Yes, materials responsive to this Freedom of Information Act request includes emails containing the term Gilgamesh. The records consist of miscellaneous news articles and press notes for President Clinton's visits to India, Bangladesh, and Pakistan in March of 2000. Now, that's interesting. What do you think of Bill Clinton visiting these places in 2000, which before 9/11, obviously, and Gilgamesh being brought up? Do you think there's any connection, or is this just pure coincidence?
It's hard to tell because you never know what what they're privy to and we're not privy to. It was like but it could be an insane coincidence. Yes.
Could it be a code name for something else?
I don't think so, based on some of the other stuff we'll go over. But I mean, I get it could be, but since they're actually talking about the trips to the cultures he went to, and Gilgamesh being an epic of that general vicinity. Even though this is more again Iraq, Uruk, which would become Iraq. It was probably when presidents go to other cultures. I assume other countries and whatnot. I assume they take in the culture and show their respect and whatnot. And so I mean, it could have been something as simple as, Bill Clinton went to a fucking museum. There were some tablets there. He recorded it, and now it's part of his writings, and it's going to come up when you do a Freedom of Information Act request. Because I mean, the tablets and whatnot are on display and located. Like we got this right here, so this right here, full on excavation of Gilgamesh. So it's not like there
look at him
isn't
just manhandling that lion
right?
like a fucking boss.
You turn out it's a small cat.
Well, he did fight, I believe, a bull. Hey, what up, Pouty? How you doing, girly?
Pouty!
Jake, you know what? I
Well,
firmly
I
believe this.
think one of his titles was like master of animals. So it was like,
yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know if it was him or because there is a portion of the epic where he goes and meets with, and I think engages in combat with a beastmaster, like some person who can shapeshift into animals. So I don't know if that was the master of animals or if he got that title after beating him. I'm not very familiar with the epic. I know some of the like the correlations of the Bible, and that's about it. Full disclosure, I've never read it. Jake, you know what? I firmly believe this. This, like, I think it's supposed to be things like this and crazier things, probably written and accounted for the Library of Alexandria. So the stone tablets were actually found at a surviving library, the library of some sand people tongue that I can't pronounce. But yes, we lost so much knowledge after the Library of Alexandria. Leon, why are you so gorgeous, and how's Cookies doing? I don't know how Cookies is doing. I have not heard from Cookies in a couple weeks. He left to go stay with his family and to take care of some family stuff, and I haven't heard from him. Worried, but by the same token, he's an adult and he can take care of himself. What up, OG Original Gamer? How you doing? So yeah, I hope Cookies is fine, but we'll find out. So yes, anyway, so we're back to the Clinton propaganda. Where'd it go? Right here it is. Share this tab. So yeah, this is nope, that's the wrong one. That is the Is this the wrong one? Yeah. Okay, Clinton Digital Library. So yeah, Bill Clinton obviously figured this stuff out, and then there are claims that later on during the Hillary Clinton server debacle, the servers that were all smashed up after the Trump campaign, that she had emails about it on there. Now, I don't know if that is correct. However, let's go through some again, this is tinfoil haters. We got to put our tinfoil hats on. So let's go through a bit of a rabbit hole. And I think most of the episode is going to be based on this. So we got this tweet here. So why did a document request for documents pertaining to the resurrection chamber of Gilgamesh and the location of his body and the location of the buried Nephilim turn up in a Freedom of Information Act State Department emails? Any takers? And right here, you got it.
What?
By Denitra Senegar.
I wonder if there's like this whole thing in the background of like politics where people are trying to figure out how they can extend their life so they don't have to give up their seats.
Adrenochrome, baby. Adrenochrome is a thing. They be drinking the blood of children and babies so they can stay young.
Yes.
But yeah, someone named Denitra Senegar requested this information, and here is.
Oh, okay, just to play devil's advocate, this could just be a batshit crazy person who just filled out a FOIA request.
Right. And that's what I was. No. I'm glad you're playing devil's advocate because there's going to be. This is, again, I'm not the expert here. We were supposed to have an expert on. So I was doing as much research as I could, and I don't know how to think about this because there is stuff that goes both ways, such as what Sammy is saying. So we got John Greenwald Jr. here. Pretty prominent individual. Goddamn. I'll settle this since there's some massive confusion about this, and there's something that's been bantered about since 2020. Also misrepresent. Now, by the way, it goes back beyond 2020. This goes back to 2003. There is a BBC article about the discovery of the tomb in 2003. And then 2 weeks later, nothing. Like the story just disappears. So the BBC did report on this. Now Now, did it turn out to be a hoax? Is it a cover up? That's the portion who knows. But back to what this guy was saying. Also misrepresented. See the American uncensored.net, Hillary Clinton. This is just a FOIA case log, no more, no less. And it shows what people, like Denitra here, request. You can request anything, but doesn't guarantee records actually exist. See my other post here about requesting info on unicorns that will appear in a log too, but that doesn't mean the records exist. So to get to the bottom of this, I just filed a FOIA case, F2024 01878 to the State Department. I requested everything from this case referenced by Don DeLucra, including any responsive records that were sent to the original requester. I'll post and tag y'all when it comes in. My guess, it shows nothing was released and there was no records response, but we'll see. Now, what do you think of his explanation? Because I have counters to it, but I want to hear. I mean, Sammy, you're the expert on this. You do FOIAs every fucking day in your job.
Yeah, I have people FOIA shit from my office that we don't have things where, you know, they're like, well, I want to see all the records you have on my house, and we're like,
What does FOIA mean?
Freedom
of
Information.
Information Act.
Oh, okay.
So, just because you have, request something doesn't mean that it exists. But I mean, it's an incredibly specific request as well.
Right.
So.
And that's my thought. It is very specific request. Also, and Sammy, let me know if you deal with this at your job, because not only sometimes records don't exist. You can request anything that might not exist. Also, though, if you request shit, it's just that, a request. It doesn't have to be fucking granted. Right?
I mean,
that's very true.
I thought FOIA requests could be denied, or am I wrong?
So there's how do I put this? As long as there's not so we have certain things that we can't give out information on because like they're soft. I can't remember what they're specifically called, but like they're soft terrorist threats. Like it's not something that you could. It's not like a 9/11 thing where you're like, hey, if they knock down this building, but if you get in and start fucking with the infrastructure, yes, you could do something. So technically, we're not allowed to give out certain information if it's giving what's the correct word, like need to know information. It's classified information. So it's called like a soft terrorist site. Like, so you can't give out something that might, if you're going to put others in danger. So we're not going to let you know where all these pipes merge in a certain place, because if you blow that up, you could put a whole city without drainage and things like that.
Is that like when Mythbusters figured out what was the most combustible thing in a household item, and then they've discovered it and they had to hide it so that other people wouldn't...
kind of. It was like we don't want to give anybody a playbook.
Right.
So so and a lot of things too. There's also the right to like protect the citizen. Like you can request things about other people's property to a certain extent, and you also have to make sure that you're not violating that person's rights. So
right. Well, and so to that extent, I used to work in a business department for AT&T, and we would provide internet to other businesses, things like that. And I would sometimes have to call these people and be like, hey, for just for documentation purposes, for setup purposes, for tax purposes, we need your tax ID. And because all businesses have one. And every now and again, you get a business owner that's like, I'm not giving you that. That's sensitive information. I was like, no, it's not. I could do a fucking freedom of information request right now and get it, which, if you want our internet, just give it to us now, because I ain't going to go through that fucking hassle. With the exception being sole proprietor businesses, because sole proprietors use their social as a tax ID. And that, like Sammy said, sensitive info. We couldn't get that. So now when this guy says he's going to file a FOIA and he's going to get back to us with the information, if this is real, because Mrs. 3 Pete said something absolutely beautiful. Let's say if nothing comes back, that doesn't mean this isn't real. That just means it's classified. So it's one of two things. Either it isn't real, or it's classified. They're not going to give it to him anyway. So it looks like Gilgamesh's story about immortality. He seeks out a plant with healing powers at the bottom of the sea. So maybe the documents detail the plant species. I mean, that's the entire fucking plot of Resident Evil 5. It turns out the virus was all derived from a plant in Africa. And I mean, I'm sure there are plants that do all sorts of crazy. Now, I don't know about granting immortality or whatnot, but we know for fact, for certain, via declassified military documents, that the government invested literal millions into psychic warfare. Like back in the 60s, that was the thing. So if the government invested millions into psychic warfare, I mean, I don't doubt they'd invest millions into finding out, seeing if all these legends and things like this actually had truth to them.
I mean, Hitler was doing it as well. I mean, he had a whole thing looking for like mystical items there, did I think that he believed in all of that? No, but if he found one that worked,
well, whether Hitler believed him or not, I think he did, but Himmler, his second in command, definitely did. Or Heimler, how do you fucking say it? And so yeah, I mean the whole thing with the true Aryan race, Hitler was more into the occult gear, exactly. Big ship,
more into the occult gear. That's what I meant.
And that's why Indiana Jones is such a great fucking movie, is because it's it's based on like it's shit the Nazis were really doing. Plenty of extra spicy pharmaceuticals derived from weirdo plants. Yeah, exactly. So when we know the government has invested money into doing this shit, we know the government has also outright lied about it. Like, do you know when the government declassified MK Ultra?
It was pretty recent, wasn't it?
If I recall, it was 2013. Now, we've been talking about MK Ultra since like the 70s, 80s, 90s, but they didn't officially own up to it till like 2013.
That's a wildly long time to not own up to something.
Yeah, there's shit they still don't
tax dollars at work, love. They're tax dollars at work. I'm curious, what do they do with all those Nazi scientist notes? Oh, I mean, they seized that shit because we got Operation Paperclip out that
Paperclip.
Yep. So yeah, while I appreciate this guy's skepticism on the FOIA request, and again here at Tinfoil Haters, we also try to have a healthy dose of skepticism mixed with, I want to believe, stuff like this. I don't think that him saying, oh, anyone can request this stuff is a good enough excuse, because like Sammy said, this is a really, really fucking specific, like, look at the rest of this. Visa records for Visa, it's all just normal shit. But then you got cable traffic between posts in Cyprus, Greece, and Germany with a description or analysis of Russian warnings to Cyprus about providing the U.S. with military base on Cyprus. Like, that is a very specific request. This one is as well. Requesting documents pertaining to the resurrection chamber of Gilgamesh, the location of his body, and the location of the buried Nephilim.
That's wild. Because if you read all that, it says visa record, and then it's like litigation record, and then all of them are visa, and then you have those two at the bottom.
I don't know how a crazy, I get it, people are crazy, but there's something specific about it that makes it's just not that easy to dismiss.
Yeah, it's the way that it's worded.
And then we have let's see, was there anything else on this thread? Let me make sure. All right, yeah. So yes, even if there were documents, they wouldn't be available to just anyone with access. This is something highly confidential. If Hillary even has access to these, fact is, if it was her email, the original request, or her secretary, that's still troubling. And then this is a very long thread, and this is where we'll probably spend the bulk of the episode talking about this, because here's where it gets to some of the shit's real, some of it isn't. I don't know what to think about this, and this is a very long thread. We're going to be here for a bit. So, in 2003, just weeks before the Iraq War, archaeologists believe that they may have found the lost Tomb of Gilgamesh, the subject of the oldest book in history. Was this video ever debunked? Now, let's talk about this video. Let's react to this video here for a moment. And by the way, the answer to whether or not it was debunked, I believe there's a mishmash of yes and no. We've got a website on that. We'll go from there. So here's the video. What up, ZBR? Sorry I haven't been in contact. Doing all the Vegas prep and stuff. So here is the supposed mummy of Gilgamesh. Like, this is supposedly truly his body. And yeah, there is
He
no
looks like a dwarf.
hour in either. What?
Well, people were smaller back then.
He looks like a dwarf.
Was it debunked or debunked? That is the question, Krovax. So yeah, Gilgamesh is OP. He can summon weapons from the air from his vault. Yeah. I mean, he's pretty much like fucking Noctis in Final Fantasy 15. Anyway, let's keep going. Now, people are saying, actually, it's right here. People are saying this is very obviously fake. This is cardboard. Like, this is obviously cardboard. And yeah, it very well could be. Looks pretty cardboard to me.
It's hard to tell.
Tapering on the edges and stuff like that.
It would actually depend on how it's varnished. If that's actual like metal or something. If they put it like a paint or if that covered it in gold, I think they would leave lines like that. It really depends on the process of the metalworking, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
not
those also look like they're supposed to be canopic jars.
Yeah.
Which is, I thought, was more of an Egyptian practice. That's
well, and there's Egyptian artifacts in this video. Like, there was a pharaoh looking statue behind his head.
That's what I'm saying is they look like canopic jars, and canopic jars is you would remove certain organs in the mummification.
Oh, that's what those are called. Okay.
And
I wonder, what are the chances that the Egyptians used the Gilgamesh technology before everybody else?
Well, Gilgamesh, to my knowledge, there's no like technology aspect behind it.
I'm sorry, that was the wrong word. Because if they're using canopic jars, wouldn't they have the same traditions?
Well, I mean,
I meant to say traditions, not technology.
Yeah, I pick up what you're laying down, Cindy Beer. But yeah, it could have been something that the Egyptians would have had to appropriate it, because I'm pretty sure they predate the Egyptians.
This predates the Egyptians by supposedly so yes and no. That the societies actually did run alongside one another, but these guys propped up first. The Babylonia and whatnot was first. Ancient Sumer.
Yeah, I don't mean that people weren't living in Egypt. I mean the dynasties and everything really weren't established the way that.
Right. Jake Martin says far too orderly, and copper would have oxidized immediately. Also, that immortality thing didn't pan out, poor fella. Well, that is one of the things about what makes Gilgamesh a great hero and king, is that the whole reason he quested for immortality, his best friend died, or his grandfather, whatever. He started fearing death, went on a search for immortality, and after he fails multiple times, he says, "You know what? That just means I don't deserve it. I'm gonna give up and go back home." And that's what makes him a good guy. Is like he knows the limits of man. He knows he can't live forever. Things like that. So yeah, let's keep going with the video.
So you spent your whole life seeking more life?
Right. Maybe something wrapped in it like good aluminum. Don't remember what the word is right now. I'm not sure what you mean. Both ancient civilizations believed in multiple gods, but I thought ancient Mesopotamia. Yes, Mesopotamia does predate Egypt. Ancient Mesopotamia is supposedly the first, like, truly established civilization.
Yeah, they call it the cradle of civilization.
Yeah. Yep, the Fertile Crescent and all that good shit.
I mean, it looks awfully fresh for a mummy.
Well,
yeah,
Gozer. I'm glad you brought that up, Sammy. Real quick, what were you gonna say, Cindy?
No, I was gonna say, at some point, don't you have to like turn to dust?
Well, mummies don't. That's why they're mummified. Is they effectively harden and stuff, right? Isn't that the deal?
Yeah.
Oh, so even after 2,000 years, you kept a lot of the details.
You effectively, if it's done in certain processes, you can actually like mineralize. That's the.
Ooh.
Well, that's where the hokey pokey hullabaloo stuff comes in. People are saying, if you believe in this, it's not a mummy. If this is the real Gilgamesh, he is in basically a deep hibernation slumber.
Oh, he's in stasis.
Yes. Think the what are they called? The monks in Breath of the Wild. You know how you go into the shrines, you get to the monks at the end, how
Oh,
they've been
yeah.
alive in stasis for all those 100 years, or whatever, waiting for Link to come back. That's effectively what he's supposedly doing here. And even though he will not wake, he is not technically dead, and there's like psychic connections to him, which again the government has done research on psychic connections.
He is
So
Schrodinger's cat.
yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yo, Heavenly Jester came in, donated 5 Vital Idol memberships. My man with the plan. Thank you so much. You didn't need to, but you did. Means the absolute world to me. Let's go ahead and give you a clip. Which one do we want to give? You know what? I'm really enjoying this one because it's new, and so I'm gonna play it any opportunity I get. Here's me and Cindy playing Resident Evil 5. I will come anywhere you want me to come.
All over his backside, run!
I want to fuck you in the ass right now. Thank you. It's nice to get some appreciation around here.
It is nice to get some
I
appreciation.
forgot about her.
You're muted, sweetheart.
You're muted, bud.
Thank you. My bad. I don't even know who that is. I just, after when I was making this clip, I was like, I need to add something beyond that. So I just typed in Google, fuck me in the ass. Because she's, Cindy said all over my backside. That was the first video that came up. I was like, guess we're using that one. So
That was a Helsing Ultimate Abridged quote, by the way.
oh, I was unaware of that. It's been so long since I've seen Helsing Ultimate Bridge. But yeah, so I don't even know who that is, Sammy. I'm surprised you do. Gilgamesh, Walt Disney. So yeah. Anyway, you guys get the gist of this video. We're not going to watch an entire almost 4 minutes of silence. But so in Hillary Clinton's leaked emails on WikiLeaks, there was communication asking for the status on the body of Gilgamesh and the resurrection chamber. So it wouldn't be a sarcophagus. He would actually be in a resurrection chamber. Leon, that is legendary. I didn't know that. And then Heavenly Jester for a 2-banger. Leon is pretty gay. Hey, I may be gay, but I don't wanna fuck no animals or anything. Like this guy.
I'd fuck one of the robot dogs.
There we go. Again, thank you so much, Heavenly Jester. You didn't need to, but you did. Means the absolute world to me. So yeah, this is the documents we've already gone over. This is the only debunk I can find, and I did try searching for other debunked stories and articles. I also couldn't find any. However, this article that she's referencing does go to pretty great lengths to debunk it, but it's also the only one, so when Krovac said earlier, was it debunked or was it debunked? If you can't find multiple sources, and again, to be fair, it could just be because this is an old story, Google's algorithm sucks, things like that. Or it could be that it's not been debunked and this is a misdirect. So we're going to read through a little bit of this. Fact check. Video does not show ancient treasures looted from the Tomb of Gilgamesh. Fake mummy from 2008. Or treasures from the Tomb of Gilgamesh discovered just before the Iraq War and the U.S. military or Hillary Clinton covered up. No, that's not true. This video is footage from one of several fake mummy hoaxes that have occurred over the years. In April 2003, there's news about a German team's archaeological finds associated with the ancient city of Uruk in Iraq. Which, by the way, I believe this is a mistake and that it's Iran, but I could be wrong. Hey, Jake, you beautiful bastard. You didn't need to, but you did. $10 super sticker. Anyone want to take a guess who it is? Or do you have the chat open? You see? If not, taking all bets from YouTube.
Oh, what's the gayest one there is?
It is a Shiba Inu doing a Japanese fan dance.
Oh, that's not gay at all. That's awesome.
Thank you so much, Jake, man. I do truly appreciate it. And you know what? That means we got to give you your clip. If I can find it right here. Here it is.
You know what? You just made the list. Oh, no.
Oh, here we go.
Man, again, thank you. It is truly appreciated. Let's see. All right. The discovery did not include a tomb full of golden treasures or a king's mummy. Jorg Fassbinder, a professional of geophysics and a team of archaeologists, used a magnetometer to detect brick structures buried under the river sediment. Under the river sediment. Interesting, because where was his tomb initially, said to be held? They found something very similar to that described in the epic that he thought could be the grave of King Gilgamesh. A BBC News article reported Gilgamesh tomb believed to be found April 29, 2003. Over 20 years later, May 16, 2023, clips from a much circulated video were republished to TikTok purporting to show footage of the Gilgamesh tomb, which was captioned with hashtags everything, truth, knowledge, beauty, love, no, question everything. This is the post looked like on TikTok. I don't really give a fuck about what the post looked like on TikTok.
To the
Wait, you
the
don't
river
believe
thing
that-
where they said that they diverted a river. What was the possibility that they did that afterwards?
What do you mean afterwards?
Like after they built it and then they diverted the river to go over it.
I don't know enough about the historical like aspect of being able to divert rivers, or if it ever even was diverted or not. So, like, is that
Could it have
possible?
been
Entirely,
or a
there's
possible
probably
natural
hard-
occurrence?
Say that again.
I said possibly a natural occurrence too. That's just me. I'm sorry, I'm speculating.
no, that too. I just wish I just wish I knew the answer, but unfortunately I don't. Because that is a good question. So Hillary Clinton's emails and the FOIA.state.gov. The screen capture image of the Freedom of Information PDF viewer that appears 8 seconds of the TikTok video is real, but it has nothing to do with Hillary Clinton. It shows page 470 of 483 points to the request reference requested by Denitra D. Senegar on December 13th, 2018. And then, we read through the subject already. Anyone can request information through the Freedom of Information Act from federal agency. On October 12, 2020, a Redditor explained in depth how human error in setting up search parameters resulted in this Clinton email conspiracy theory running around. Apparently, someone was looking for the word Nephilim within this collection of Clinton's emails, but they structured the search in such a way they got any results with the word Nephilim. The existence of Senegar's request isn't proof of anything other than curious person looking for answers. Now, we've already said our piece on that, but does anyone have anything additional to say about it?
I mean, that could track. But it doesn't seem like it would be. I feel like you wouldn't mix that up. You would immediately start to see that, oh, I've gotten everything on Nephilim, not the specific things being mentioned in the emails.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, again, I don't know enough about filing for FOIAs to know how common errors like that are, but Sammy, again, you work with them every day. So are those sorts of errors, like, do they happen all the time?
I see, but for my office, it would be so specific that, you know what I mean? I couldn't tell you.
Well, so I assume aren't FOIAs usually supposed to be specific because you're trying to get specific information, or is that not the
yes,
case?
but I mean, you can say, you can have, they can be broad as well, but there are things where people are looking for specifically one thing, and then there's people trying to gather information and it's a little bit more broad. So,
okay,
but you would obviously know that if the results, if one of the first things you get is like a Wikipedia article on Nephilim, you'd be like, okay, well, this I need
toss
to
that, like,
yeah, I need to obviously make my
refine
search
my
parameters
search.
less broad.
Okay.
Yes, 100%.
Jeremy Hughes review. Hey guys, just finished watching a Minecraft movie. It was actually pretty fun. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I don't know that I'll ever watch it, but I'm glad you enjoyed it, and I'm glad you found it fun, bud. Demon Carol.
I'm convinced they got taken over by aliens. I'm sorry.
Unrelated, but you should look into the opening of Tamerlane's or Timur's tomb on June 20th, 1941. Somewhat unrelated, but fairly interesting. Oh, I would love to check that out. Yeah, it sounds like a lot of fun. It's absolutely something I'm interested in too. Who I may have seen this footage and not known it. Oh, what?
Real quick, Demon Carol is actually pretty knowledgeable in history. I thought it was interesting.
Oh, right on. Well, that's cool to know, Demon Carol. Awesome. Maybe we can have you on one of these days. And for your patronage, we will give you a clip.
I just super love sucking dick. When I haven't for a while, I get needy.
And then Zombie Box Reviews coming in with that $5 super sticker. Thank you so much, homie. It's a dancing pear. No, it's not dancing. He's working out, pumping iron, and says, keep it up. You good goddamn right. We're going to keep it up. Eat healthy, workouts, the whole nine. You'll love to see it. Let's give you the opposite end of that spectrum when it comes to clips.
Y'all can clip me all you want. I think Alyssa McConaughey has a nice ass, but I guarantee you she doesn't shave her armpits. So I'm good.
Thank you so much, ZBR. You didn't need it, you did. It means the absolute world to me. Yes, we were talking about the Euphrates, OG, 100%. And Demon Chaos is mostly military history. That's still interesting. That's still something I'm into. That's awesome. Now this just gives the information on King Gilgamesh, which we already went over at the beginning of the show. Now, archaeologist finds Uruk Warka in the 21st century. German teams have been conducting archaeological work according to the topography of Uruk and traces of the ancient city using a method called caesium magnometry in 2001 and 2002. Technology, pictured below, allowed geophysicists to detect and map the foundation of outlines of buried structures made of mud brick and fired brick, differentiating it from the surrounding soil or river sediment to the depth of 16 feet below the surface. The BBC News headline, Gilgamesh...
Caesium magnometry.
What?
Yes, caesium magnometry.
Well, I mean, it sounds actually like since this was from 2001 to 2002, a more primitive version of what they use for those underground pyramid stuff we covered just a couple weeks ago.
Oh my God, it does.
Yeah, and now that had a different name, and that was using, if I remember right, that was using magnetic mapping, if I recall. But it sounds similar concept. The BBC News headline, Gilgamesh tomb believed found, did not clearly communicate that what had been found was something detected underground. They were not reporting on a chamber full of treasures or mummified remains of a king Gilgamesh. The BBC quoted Jörg Fassbinder of the Bavarian Department of Historical Monuments in Munich. I don't want to say definitely it was the grave of King Gilgamesh, but it looks very similar to that described in the epic. Now, if it's in the same space as the epic, and it looks, at least based on this analysis, what was described in the epic, and we're talking about like the geographical location where it should be. It's under a riverbed. I mean, why didn't we do any sort of fucking digging to find out? Or did we? Or, again, this is literally weeks before the invasion of Iraq. Why haven't we gone back? These are all questions I don't have. They're too vast for me. What about you guys?
No, I don't have anything for it.
I kind of want to know if they found the spot that could be it. Why aren't they doing, like, I don't know, ultrasound checks on the ground?
Well, that is something that should be done now, considering what we just found out about the buried pyramids.
I mean, we've had a lot of technology.
I got it now. It's a $50 banger from Heavenly Jester, you absolute mad lad. Did you ever hear the tragedy of Darth Floyd the Breather? No, I thought not. It's not the story the police would tell you. It's a ghetto legend. Darth Floyd was a dark lord of the ghetto, so powerful and so wise, he could use the Force to influence Fint.
Is it
Jester,
possible
you
to
are
learn
an
these
absolute
things?
fucking mad lad. What were you saying, Sammy?
Is it possible to learn these things not from a police officer?
Not from a copper. Yeah, you definitely earned yourself this longer clip.
Leon, Moxie, are y'all niggas happy? Y'all happy? You proud of yourself? I hope you niggas is happy. Congratulations to all the new single moms on the channel, but I just hope you niggas are just so happy with what you've done.
Heavenly Jester, you are an absolute treat. Thank you so much. Do not deserve it. And yeah, absolute means the world to me. You get yourself a bingo, a bango, and a goddamn bongo. OG original gamer. BBC. Same BBC who said VTO Solomon building has collapsed while it stood in a background behind the BBC reporter. That BBC? You mean the same BBC that was also taking money from USAID? That BBC? The same BBC that has been shown time and time again to be a political front for the left-wing media, the left wing, the party that Hillary Clinton is associated with, where all this email documentation is found. That BBC? Yes, that BBC. Sorry, I couldn't resist.
No, you
kind of
nailed it.
Let's see. Where are we at with this? That's right. This tells us the video could not have been made as early as 2003 when the potential findings of Gilgamesh's tomb was reported. I mean, does it though? Because I could be wrong, but aren't these archaeologists and the chat? You're also very knowledgeable. You can let us know. Aren't archaeologists like this usually government funded?
They can get grants, sure.
That's what, yeah, that's what I mean by government funded. Like they get grants and whatnot. And wouldn't that come with a specific set of rules?
They usually do. There's usually stipulations. Absolutely.
Like, when the government gives grants to pharmaceutical companies, these pharmaceutical companies create vaccines that, for example, you now can't do XYZ with for 7 to 75 years. Like that's a stipulation. So this video
Well,
existing. Oh, go on.
I was gonna say, did you know that they actually have grants for people who want to start YouTube channels? Like there is a VTuber grant out there, or there was. I mean, they make grants all the time for anything.
Siru is correct, by the way. Grants can come from universities as well, and I didn't know that, Cindy. That's fucking wild.
Yeah. I had somebody actually tell me that when I was starting. They were like, you could find a grant so you can get your setup better. So I don't know how it wouldn't be government funded.
Well, or even if it was university funded, like Super said, the university would still have stipulations attached to it, because anybody handing out thousands upon thousands of free dollars ain't going to be free. There's always going to be some strings attached. In a roundabout way, usually a board of trustees doling out money for multiple purposes. Okay, thank you, Jake. Appreciate that. Sorry about the USAID thing with the BBC. A lot of people stopped paying them, so there's a short. Don't be sorry. I'm fucking happy that you brought that up. Yeah, fuck the BBC. Anyway, if basically the government or the whatever foundation's paying for this or whatever didn't want this to be known that we actually did do digging, then this would be a bootleg video that was obviously shot on some sort of handheld camcorder, because this is 2003. All I'm saying is, to me, this doesn't read as it's impossible. It means that it was buried for a reason. The story, that is.
Yeah.
The TikTok video below does not present the clip showing the front page of the newspaper as prominently as other longer copies of the hoax video, such as the 2013 YouTube video. So, Lead Stories was able to identify the date of the newspaper using Google Lens tool to detect the Persian script and search for the Persian headline. Complicating matters, there's a static videotape timestamp 3/12/2002 that appears in the 126 mark in the YouTube video. It does not match the other footage and has a timer displayed. It's possible that the date was not properly set and the camera was intentionally set wrong, or that some of the clips came from a different date. So yeah, it's spliced together clips.
Well, that's giving them too much credit. A lot of times people don't know how to change the timestamps.
There's that too. The discovery, the Zagros graveyard find in 2008. The discovery of an ancient graveyard in Kurdistan, Iran, in November 2008 also spawned elements of the hoax. A 2012 academic report titled "The Iron Age Zagros Graveyard Near Sandamaj, Iranian Kurdistan," primarily report on the first season describes the hoaxes. And basically, this article goes on to say these are not real. The video still pictured on the right shows what appears to be a corrugated cardboard box, like I was saying earlier. Painted gold among the mummy's treasures. It appears the 1 minute and 17-second mark on the YouTube video. Iran, giants kept inside glass capsules. Best proof of existence of giants ever. The lacquered gold trinkets show a mixture of sculptural elements borrowed from Buddhist and Egyptian traditions. And I'm gonna be real. I mean, yeah, when you see it not in the video like this, it looks fake as fuck. It does.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
I want to know if he's actually 7 feet tall, and he looks awfully flat.
Especially because people were smaller back then. So, like, if you were like, if humans topped out at 5 foot and you saw someone 7 foot, that motherfucker's a giant. Like, even nowadays, 7 foot's kind of a fucking giant.
No, yeah. Have you ever seen a 7-footer in real life? Like, it's jarring. You're like,
There's always pictures of like that one like Asian dude standing next to Dwayne Johnson, and he just towers over him. Let's see, the 2015 Sleeping Giants episode of Cosmic Disclosure. And then, yeah, that's about the extent of it. So, excuse me. This article was detailing how at least parts of this were a hoax. Now, notice how it didn't really debunk the Clinton emails, just said that it may have been an improper search. It didn't debunk the tomb, just saying that any sort of excavation of the tomb didn't happen, but the tomb could still be there. And it did debunk, supposedly, the mummy that was found. But if this is the only outlet doing a debunk, that is interesting, especially since you would think the BBC would follow up and do a retraction or something, right?
Right.
With their integrity.
Now, Pete Santilli claims Ron DeSantis with Cesium-6 stole DNA from the Tomb of Gilgamesh in Iraq and used it to create a bioweapon the Hobby Lobby financially benefited from. Christina DeSantis was involved with auditing the British bank used to launder the money from the auction of artifacts stolen by DeSantis until her death.
Wow.
Hobby Lobby does get, by the way, come up in this. It's very strange. German archaeologists thought they found the tomb of the mythical king Gilgamesh, and 5 months later, Iraq was invaded. The epic of Gilgamesh is one of the most important recoveries of the ancient Sumerian world. Gilgamesh was portrayed as a giant, and funny enough, there's an interest in the story of soldiers encountering a giant in the desert in the Middle East. Perhaps there's something more to this. Anyway, it's not a secret the USA established a base in the old Babylonian city, destroyed some historical artifacts. This is a real thing, by the way. The USA did straight up effectively build a fucking castle on top of ancient Sumerian ruins that they bombed themselves. Like, that's fucking real.
That's wild.
And also took with them many of the artifacts. They constructed buildings and helicopter landing pads in the ancient city. It's not a secret they were there searching for something very important. Also, Saddam Hussein was building a massive reconstruction of Babylon near the ancient city. Was he trying to hide something huge? Is that why the USA decided to invade Iraq so fast and acquire the ancient relics? Could it be the archaeological dig that Ross Coulthart was referring to? The UFO was so big they needed to build an entire building to cover it up. USA made the most expensive embassy still used to this day. Also, the invasion of Iraq wasn't for weapons of mass destruction. It was probably for ancient technology. $600 million was spent on building an embassy near ancient Babylon. And again, yes, I didn't know how relevant it would be, so I didn't bring up too much about it. But yeah, here it is. Embassy built over the ruins.
Really?
That is
Oh my gosh.
fucking insane. I've heard this. Saddam was supposedly building a Stargate when he found it. Yeah. Let's see.
As one does.
I think once you're rich and powerful enough, you have enough time on your hands, you just gravitate towards excavating Babylon. Iraq Gate. Yeah, there's got to be. I mean, yeah, no fucking. Yes, I do have very white arms. Thank you. Yeah, no weapons of mass destruction, but a lot of shit in this region. I mean, this is, again, the birthplace of humanity, the birthplace of all these religions, things to that effect.
Sparkles, he's called Neon Leon for a reason.
Ancient Gilgamesh tablets seized from Hobby Lobby by authorities. And this one is so weird. Bitch, get the fuck out of here. The craft store had acquired a 3,600-year-old artifact for its Bible museum, but court says it had been smuggled and should be returned to Iraq. And it says this article is more than 3 years old. Just so you guys know, it did end up getting returned to Iraq. Like I think last year or maybe in 2023. So yeah, this did get returned to Iraq. A rare ancient tablet showing part of the Epic of Gilgamesh, which had been acquired by Christian arts and crafts retailer Hobby Lobby for display in its museum of biblical artifacts, has been seized by the U.S. government. And then, yeah, but it's just weird how Hobby Lobby got implicated of all fucking places.
They made a mold of it so that they could like sell it in their shop.
Yeah. You get a foam press of this for
yes.
This whole Gilgamesh story gets so like we start off by talking about, this is the ancient king that probably did exist, that may or may not have been deified to be like Jesus, or maybe he really did this. We don't know, because if Jesus could exist, why couldn't this other stuff? It comes to like, we invaded Iraq over his grave, and now Hobby Lobby is having to give the stuff back to Iraq. Like,
I have a question. Is that texture or writing?
Writing.
That's Sumerian.
This is ancient Sumerian text.
It looks like the gold on top of that box. It's the same. It's very well lined.
Yeah, no, it's incredibly complex for like the age of what it is. Like, when you look at hieroglyphics, it's pictures like. No, I'm just saying as far as like ancient writing goes, like it's incredibly detailed.
Again, we don't give them old motherfuckers enough credit. Now, Moo then posits, by the way, this isn't like some large account or anything like that. This account doesn't even have 6K followers. However, they are followed by the voice of Dante from Devil May Cry. So that's pretty cool. Wouldn't you think that the opening of the world's largest embassy, not to mention the most expensive, would deserve more attention? But again, I mean, I assume you guys didn't even know about the Babylonian American castle, right?
No.
Like, this is fucking wild. And then we've got this is a very common video. I watched this video years ago and didn't even, or it was like 2 years ago, I think it came out. And it didn't even make the correlation. That's what we were talking about today. So where are they now? And then update. According to Russian archaeologists, the video I posted yesterday is from the discovery of Mag Radomir, supposedly a 12,000-year-old man found in Iran and not Iraq. The sarcophagus containing his body was held gold books and an ancient map. Radomir is believed to be in a state of suspended animation, and legend says he is one of the 4 ancient magicians buried to assist humanity in time of need. However, the authenticity of these claims is debated, with many details remaining extremely difficult to verify. And here's a better look at Homeboy. So, yeah, this is...
Wait. Can you scroll back up? I wanted to see him a little bit better. Yeah, he looks like a dwarf. I feel like they got inspiration from him.
It also looks like a different picture than what we saw.
Then this guy right here.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's compare. We got this pause. They're wearing the same. Yeah, they're wearing the same headdress.
It's the nose. Look how fat the bridge is. You can't see it there.
Yeah, it's just from a different angle.
I think that's more of an angle thing. Let's see. Is there a different angle of Homeboy? Here we go. All right, so we got this. Like, yeah, not too dissimilar. Plus one's black and white and whatnot. So he's so squishy because again, he's not a mummy. He is supposedly what's it called? In suspended animation. Heavenly Jester for a 2-banger. Do you guys believe the One Piece is real? The One Piece is real.
It's real.
The One Piece is real.
It's a party. The more the merrier. Isn't that right, Si?
My IV.
Thank you so much, buddy. I do truly appreciate it. You did need to. You did. You're so giving. I appreciate it. Goth Grunge, Lara Croft, which is hot. I don't know what that's in reference to.
Somebody said if I had the tablet, I could put it on my shelf with all my figures. And I said I could dress up as Lara Croft, too. I'd look all smart and shit.
Oh. You don't want to see a dude make an anxious Sumerian lamb stew and school you on the Akidu Sumerian New Year's? Tasting History, Matt. Dude, I love Tasting History. Tasting History is such a great channel.
He looks like Jay Viper.
Well, what about Jay Viper?
He and Tasting
like
History guy.
Yeah, he looks like Jay Viper. Mr. Monkey said the One Piece, the friends we made along the way. Funnily enough, someone in an interview with Oda did in fact ask him if the real treasure was like going to be, the journey, the friendship. And he actually answered, no, I hate shit like that. There is a treasure. So no,
Nice.
The One Piece is not the friends we made along the way. Oda confirmed there will be a physical treasure. Now, what that physical treasure is, I don't know. To me, I think the physical treasure is going to be like the birthplace and tree of the devil fruits and where they come from, but I don't know. Good reference. Who do
Such
I
a good one. Return the slab.
Or suffer my curse. Yeah, that's actually probably the best episode, the scariest episode for sure of Curse of Cowardly Dogs. So truly appreciated. We've not given you the clumsy bird yet, and for such a good reference, you've earned a clumsy bird. There it is.
Oh, I love
there
it.
It is. The magician Radomir is a living person who is 12,000 years old. The story of this discovery of the sarcophagus was leaked on the internet in 2008, which at the time all the data was classified. A video appeared on YouTube with the sarcophagus in which unknown person lay. It is known that the Iranian authorities wanted to build a building, and during the excavations, 3 sarcophagi were discovered. In one sarcophagus, 5 books made of pure gold and a map of ancient Rus were discovered. The second, there was a force that protected the body of the magician, and the third lay the body of the magician himself. All events took place in Iran, or more precisely, in the Kurdistan region. This information is very inaccurate because there's no documented information. This information was recently declassified, and Valery Chudnov told this information. After finding the magician's body, scientists determined the body was biologically active. That is, he was alive. It is assumed that he has been in suspended animation all this time. This assumption is made because his hair, soft tissue, and skin are no different than those of a living person. But how did they determine that it was Radomir? If you believe in the rumors, then a medium was brought in from Moscow who established contact with with him through telepathy, and he told all the information about himself and his activities. This information is also kept secret. Only his name has become known. There's many interesting articles written on the internet about the archaeological find in 2008. Some citing scientists have suggested it is 12,000 years old, while others give it no more than 1,000 years. It is said that several people died when the sarcophagus was found, and the medium warned anyone who approaches the body with unclean thoughts will instantly die. Also, along with the golden books and a map of Rust at the time was found, an interesting fact is that not only is he alive, but scientists may also say that he might wake up. There's a legend that says that in the ancient times, there were 4 magicians who were buried underground in different parts of the planet in order to help humanity at the right time. And Radomir is one of the 4 magicians who will wake up when all 4 components are found. Radomir is a suspended animation, but he's about 200 years old, not 12,000. Some believe the first person to be found was Itigalov. The second was Radomir, and there are 2 more left to be found. And these 2 missing links must be one is African American, the other is Indian. If all this is true, then it turns out our ancestors were more developed, knew more than we are now, and most interesting things are yet to come.
Okay. He would be African, not African American. African Americans are a recent thing,
right? Yeah,
because Americans are a recent thing.
All this sounds like fucking full of shit, hokey baloney to me. Like,
oh,
I can
absolutely.
get behind some of the Gilgamesh stuff, but at this point, the tinfoil hat come off, and this is just retarded.
Oh, no, I love a little like the Russians are like, it is not this bullshit person, it is this bullshit person. This is the bullshit person who it is.
Trust us.
Yeah.
Again, translated from Russian, is it turns out man is not a mummy and sleeps in deep sleep and about on his own. Man can wake up and make contact. Telepathic contact with it already installed. His name is Radomir. He's waiting to be awakened.
Of course he's Russian.
What?
I said, of course he's Russian, because only the Russians have that kind of pettiness level to survive.
Who was the other guy's name that they said it could be? Not Radomir, with the other guy. There was
hold on. It said up here. It appeared Kurdistan region. Determined it was Radomir, if you believe the rumors. It's somewhere around here. Hold on, because I'm curious about his name as well.
Those should be our fake Vegas names. Like, I'm Radomir. This is
damn, where is it? It had to be here. I specifically know, and I can't just. This was such a large chunk of text. Excavation, sarcophagus, 5 books, inaccurate. I'm just trying to look for like Russian sounding fucking names. Just doing quick scans. Science, some citing scientists, also along with the gold map. Scientists.
Are you talking about the Valeri guy?
Yeah. What was his name?
Yeah. What was it?
Oh, like Chudanov? Valeri Chudanov?
Oh, here it is. Idigolov.
Oh, no. Okay.
I'm Radomir.
Oh my gosh. I feel like I had a stroke looking at that.
Let's see. Here's further video of Prince Radomir, this time underground. And yeah, they're saying this. Yeah, I'm sorry. If this was real, at least in my opinion, the government would have had this shit wiped from the internet.
100%.
Right? I can't. There was a suspension of disbelief I was willing to consider, but at this point, I'm tapped out. This is fake. Or at least
they can do it with Hunter Biden's laptop. They can definitely do it with
right. So I guess we're on the wrap for this. We can go over some final thoughts. The last thing I have to show, and then I'll hit those supers. I do see those supers there, guys. Just here's the U.S. Department of State. If you search Gilgamesh Freedom of Information Act, this is what comes up. A lot of these are what we already went over, but I want to show that you can still search it on the website today. So yeah, that's really about it. And let's hit these supers. Then we'll do final thoughts. This episode went a little bit longer than normal, which I'm surprised considering without our guest. All right, where are these? Here they are, these supers. Heavenly Jester for a 2-banger. I want to know where the Ark is. Just don't look. For sure, Ark of the Covenant is real. Hundo %. Ark of the Covenant is real. Don't open it.
I heard a rumor that they suspicioned it was in the Himalayas.
That I think I've heard something similar. Like the Himalayan monks hid it away or something. Now it's guarded by the Yeti. But yeah, no, I feel like I've heard something similar. And then Mr. Monkey for a 10 banger. The bird packed and shipped himself like an Amazon worker with nothing left to cherish. Oh my God. Dude, I appreciate you, Mr. Monkey. Let's get you a clip. You know what? We haven't done Japanese Spider-Man in a bit.
Find Peter Parker.
Who the hell are you?
If I step away for a moment before final thoughts, can you guys read comments and run the show?
Sure.
Thank you. I'll be right back.
Anarchy. Oh, wait. We had to wait. Anarchy. Oh my goodness.
Oh no, the cat's away. Hey, Rick's here. What's going on, buddy?
Hi, Rick. I thought that was pretty fascinating. I still have questions about like the was it Gilgamesh and all the items in his thing? Why is nothing tarnished?
Yeah, I mean, or at the very least, yeah, or at the very least, fucking dusty, like, you know. But yeah, that someone called it out. That one piece was very clearly cardboard. It was, you know, not didn't look fake. A lot of, or I'm sorry, it looked very fake, and a lot of the iconography was looked like it was from various religions. I love the Arkham trilogy, Mr. Monkey. I mean, have we ever had a closer experience actually being Batman? I mean, they're masterpieces.
I never got to
especially the
play
first
it.
games. Oh, you got to do that. Although I saw that you like played two of my very favorite games like last week. You played Metal Gear and you played BioShock.
Yes. Everybody, oh my goodness, I got so much grief, but people were so sweet. They were just like, "Hey, you know, you should probably stop playing Metal Gear."
Why?
I was doing so poorly, but I also I will come back to it. Like I've already
these days.
Yes. So
Huh?
I
What
very
was
much
that
enjoyed
one?
both streams, but I did like the BioShock one more, if I'm being honest. I like seeing you do well at games, and you were playing that game much better.
BioShock was the first game that I ever played with like headphones on.
oh, was it scarier that way?
Well, I remember just being in my basement, you know, at my parents' house in my basement when that game dropped, and you could hear like a splicer sneaking up behind you, and I kept like pausing the game and like looking behind me.
Oh yeah, I got to kill a Big Daddy with a wrench.
This is one of the luckiest moments in gaming I've literally ever seen. Was you killing a Big Daddy with a wrench?
That's
that
is fucking insane, but
yeah, like there's no way you should be able to do that. There's so much shit worked in your favor by pure happenstance, but by all means, like, not saying you're not good at the game because you were doing very well, but to be able to do that was one of the luckiest gaming moments I have ever fucking seen. But yeah, that being said,
I'm gonna have to go back and watch that.
Final
it's so good.
Final thoughts on the Tomb of Gilgamesh, whether it was discovered, whether the Clintons are involved. Cindy, we'll start with you.
Oh man, I hope this is real because I don't want like the resurrection chamber to be real because I feel like that's too much power for people. But I do hope the tomb is real because I feel like that would be really fun and we could learn way more about the ancient civilization, hopefully, and their techniques and how they did stuff. And maybe we get like new technology or like ideas off of that. That would be awesome.
Sammy, what about you? What do you think?
I think it's a crock of shit, to be honest. Even all the pictures and everything that we saw, I was just telling Cindy, you know, she said none of the stuff was tarnished. I was like, it wasn't even dusty. You know, and the iconography is off where you had things that were very ancient Egyptians. You had things that looked quite Hindi. It just didn't make sense.
I agree with that. I want Leon in a Gilgamesh crop top. Vegas,
Me
baby.
too.
Vegas. What'd you think of the Beaver Anon? I enjoyed what we watched of it. I want to get back to it. If we do more reaction videos, I want to get back to Beaver Anon because that was so far I had been enjoying it. What was I saying? As for my final thoughts on this, I think there's a little bit of truth and a little bit of falsery to this. Like with Sammy, I don't believe that video shit. I don't believe any of that's real. Obviously, I do believe, just like the vast majority of scientists, Gilgamesh was a real person. I do not believe he was the biblical, the pre-biblical strongman that he was. I mean, again, that's due to religious bias. To me, that's Jesus, only Jesus. But that being said, if could be Jesus, I guess it could be others as well. I have to remain open to that technical possibility. As well as the, I believe the tomb probably does exist or did exist, and again, we're finding so much out about what's underneath the pyramids. The technology they were using did find structures roughly 16 feet down, they said, under what would have been once a riverbed. There is truth to this. And as far as the Clinton connection, yeah, I believe politicians are in all sorts of shady shit. Left, right, it doesn't matter. They're all one giant cabal. They're just putting on a dog and pony show, and they are doing things like child sacrifice, and they are trying to live longer, and they are running a depopulation agenda, and they do want only the best of the best to survive when it comes to an end of the world cataclysm that they will probably cause, Operation Blue Beam, something like that. Who's to say? They want us to be mindless worker drones, the ones that survive that are not part of their elite ruling class. So yes, do I believe that the Clinton Foundation, that Hillary Clinton, or not just Hillary Clinton, but for any of these hardcore politicians are taking interest in not just the Gilgamesh legend, but again the Bible, the all sorts of religious artifacts, and they're using it, pursuing it to their own aims. They are funneling money into things like mind control and psychic warfare. So yes, I totally believe there's something in the Hillary emails that probably has to do with Gilgamesh and the tomb. Now, is it anything substantial? No, probably not. She was too busy killing motherfuckers that are her own people in Iraq. But that's a story for another time.
Yeah, but anyway, she could become a celestial dragon faster. That's what she wants.
she will have to go to war with Cindy over that. She's the only dragon we need. Although I did appreciate the One Piece reference. So yeah, I would say mostly debunked, but there's a hint of truth to it, in my opinion, and that's where I rest with it. Ready to do some outros?
Outros.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder why they banned conspiracy channels on YouTube back in the day. Yeah, I know. There's so many good conspiracy channels that just aren't around anymore. Cindy, tell people who you are, what you do, what you got coming up, the whole nine.
Hi, guys. So I stream tomorrow at 5 p.m. I'll be picking BioShock back up. And then afterwards, we're going straight to Zax's stream. And after Zax, if I have that streamer's high, most definitely streaming again. Probably with Leon on Resident Evil 5, should he be free. And also, I'm trying to upload twice a week with my hand being banged up. I'm probably not going to upload as much. I'm going to probably take a cheat. So keep an eye out, give it a watch regardless, and help me out there. But if not, don't worry about it. I had fun. I will see you guys all over. I'll be on streaming at night randomly. So keep a lookout for my X post because I'm trying to get better about it.
Don't you have something else?
Oh, yes. Okay. So after Countercast next week, I am doing my birthday stream for real. I will stay away from cars. I don't want that to happen again. So I hope you guys stop by. And if you guys bought alcohol to drink with me, remember to drink responsibly and save it for Monday.
Bingo, bango, bongo. There it is. That's what I like to hear. My man with a plan, my co-host, Sammy of the Three-Peat Dynasty. Tell the people who you are and what you do.
Yes, of the Detroit Three-Peats, very prestigious family. But speaking of Detroit, the only thing I'm going to plug is, yes, I'm in a band, and we have a local live stream coming up on Thursday. I will have the links to that on Thursday. I'll post them in there. So if you guys want to stop by, it should be, I believe it's from 6 to 8 EST. So it's a 2-hour show. It's like an interview, and then we do a full set. And it's a pretty prestigious local show. So if you guys want to drop in and show some support, I would really like it. Otherwise, you can catch it on a rewatch. But yeah, that's all I got.
Bingo, bango, bongo. You love to see that as well. And as for me, guys, I'm gonna be trying to get videos out. It's been guys, the last couple of weeks and whatnot have been very hectic between streams and videos and whatnot and real life obligations. We got the Vegas trip coming up, and I'm leaving literally a week from today. There is a lot of prep to be done. I will also be on Zach's show tomorrow to talk about the fucking dire wolves. I cannot wait. That might be my only stream, maybe me and single stream. I'm not sure. It's going to depend on how caught up I am with actually getting videos and shit out, because that does need to be done. And then I think Neon Leon on Friday. And then the regular stream schedule. SNH on Saturday. Next week's countercast will be the last countercast before Vegas. No tinfoil haters next week because me and Sammy are gonna be partying. And I do think that's it. What?
We'll post a selfie.
We'll post a selfie, 100%. And beyond that, yeah, just make sure to check out the videos. Subscribe to both these lovely motherfuckers on the show. They, I could not do this without them, or I could, but it'd be far less funny. And beyond that, I guess goes without saying. Thank you to everybody that donated. It truly does mean the world to me. It always helps me improve. I'm looking into getting a better setup post Vegas. I'm going to be doing a lot of upgrades to the channel, and I can only do that because of you, and I do appreciate it. And if you can't donate or didn't donate or whatnot, that's fine. You were here for the discussion. We had fun. We talked, and this turned out to be a great episode despite the setback. And beyond that, I guess it goes without saying, it's all here in the Nerdosphere, and this has been Words of Paradise.